Mole crabs, aka sand fleas. Great bait for pompano, sheep's head, whiting. Using 1/0 circle hooks. When I hook them, I like to hook them right through the shovel, because if you don't hook them through the shovel, whenever you cast them out there, they can literally just bury themselves in the sand, and then fish won't be able to find them. So I also like to tip them with just a small piece of this Easy Flea sand flea flavored fish bites, and basically it helps them keep the sand flea on the hook when you're casting, and also they're much more durable. That's the presentation. They're much more durable than the sand flea themselves, to where they'll last half an hour to an hour on the hook, as opposed to the live bait, which will kind of just either get eaten or disintegrate off of the line. Gonna throw a 4-ounce pyramid weight. I prefer pyramid weights over Sputnik weights. First rod to go out is this 12-foot ugly stick on a Shimano Bait Runner 8000. It's actually not a long cast reel, which I'd like to eventually get, but handles its own. Somehow the face closed, whether I forgot or not, and just lost the weight. So that was very amateur-esque. Start the day off. All right, let's try this again. This time we're gonna open the bail before we cast it. So I like to have a slight bend in the rod and set it up. That way, if sometimes the fish will hit it and run in, so you'll be able to see if that pole goes straight up and down. It's just as good as an indicator that there's a fish on as if it was bended in half. All right, let's get the next one out. All right, second long rod. This is just a cheap 12-foot Danko rod wife got me for Christmas a few years back. I am running mono on this 20-pound yellow high-vis mono. I got like a 25-pound, 30-pound braid on my other one. I prefer mono on the surf rigs. I try to stagger these about 25 feet apart. Now, using sand fleas on this one, I end up switching the other one to electric chicken shrimp flavored fish bites. I like to do a little bit of a variety. I don't know if you could have seen that in the water right there. There's a bunch of fish right there. Look like whiting. 6 inches of water. I'll go for those here in a minute. Bail, is open. Now you don't want the drag too tight in case something big hits it. Take the rod in the water. So you want it kind of just as tight as it needs to be before it starts bending the rod too much or pulling drag. So that's kind of where I like it to be, right there. Slight bend. Now I normally put out 4 rods. I'll put 2 long rods out, 2 short rods. And I already seen the whiting in the first trough, so I know they're there. So we'll go ahead and target them now with the short rods. I always look for big collections of sand fleas. You look right there and just see them as the wave comes back just enough. Right there, big patch of them. You see the difference in the sand. And they're also pretty smart, so you don't want to, you kind of gotta run up on them or you'll scare them away. Then right there. So what I'll do is wait for the right wave. Actually, you can kind of see them all over the place. And there you go. There's about 30 of them probably in there. And the whiting love these. So does the pompano. Skipjack, I believe is the proper name for this. The name of this game is try not to get yourself hooked. 2 treble hooks. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Gonna put in a little beach session today. See if we can get on some pompano, some croakers, some whiting. Enjoy the show. There we go, first fish of the day. Decent sized croaker. This is a gaff top sail catfish. You gotta be real careful. That long dorsal and the pec fins have like these venomous barbs, and they'll stick you and it'll sting. Some people eat these. They're not real bad to eat, but I'm gonna turn them loose. Alright, we got another croaker. This one's a bit smaller. Borderline keeper size. They're unregulated, so they don't have to be a certain size to keep them, but I don't like to keep them when they're too small. I prefer them to actually be a little smaller than this. I'd actually use them for bait, like a snook bait. About half the size would be perfect. Big shark right here, first trough. Five or 6 footer. See if we can't get the shark to get this. It would be kind of cool. Oh, it's a snook. Let's go. Caught a snook on a gotcha plug and it's foul hooked. Unreal. Boy, that was close by. See if I can not get a treble hook in me. That was unexpected. Seen a shark, then just seen a snook. Got it. Swam off just fine. That's something. What do we have here? We got a whiting on the Goofy Jig. Not a bad little size. Looks like you hit the teaser. Teaser's that little hook. Floats up and down the line. Not a bad little size. Right there in the first trough. That's usually where the croaker and the whiting hang out. Talking knee to waist deep water. Get the bite already. There it is. It's a little waiting, but it's where they're at. Right there in that first trough. Just a piece of fresh dead shrimp for bait. So here's the rig I'm using. It's a double hook rig with a little 2-ounce pyramid bait on the end. These have come pre-made. The tackle shop about $2. And just take one shrimp, cut it in half, put the head on the top, tail on the bottom, or vice versa. The hooks on this rig's actually called a pompano, or excuse me, a croaker and whiting rig. Looks like about a size 2 J hook. You can switch the hooks out, but I think this is a pretty good size for these size fish. And when they're here this time of the year, which right now it's spring's right around the corner, the water's warming up. They're here in numbers, and they're right in the what I call the first trough, which is the area right as soon as you step down in the water. You just wait for that little bite and give a little tug on the rod. Whiting. Like I said, guys, it's like catching fish in a barrel when you find them and you know what you're doing. Not to say I'm an expert by no means, but it's kind of just basic knowledge. This guy's a little bit too small for me to keep and a little bit too big to use for bait, so I'm going to let him go. Alright, so I'm going to go for a snook with this rig. So I caught me a little croaker bait size. I'm going to throw him out here in like the first trough where the croakers run. I caught that snook earlier. something. Moonfish, foul hooked, aka a look down. Super cool looking fish. Try not to get hooked. Still has a lot of fight left in him. Just a super unique looking fish. Not quite big enough for me to harvest, so I'm going to let him live. Real long dorsal and anal fin. All right, I'm gonna send him back. There we go, guys. Double header. 2 croaker. Unfortunately, top one swallowed the hook. Actually, this is a whiting on the bottom. Got one of each. 1 croaker, 1 whiting. So I got live, fresh dead shrimp on the first rod. Got a live croaker on the second rod. Third rod has fish gum, which is artificial. And the last far rod has fish bites, also artificial bait. They're also staggered at different depths, different distances off the beach. Sometimes the fish are close, sometimes they're far away. And then I also got a couple rods I with lures on them I throw around while I'm waiting on the other 4 to get bites. I'm using a gotcha plug on the one and a goofy jig on the other. Alright, throwing a 3/8 ounce jig head with a live shrimp. With my last couple shrimp I got. Just working it on the bottom. Catch flounder this way, snook, of course croaker and whiting. Pompano. See something just rolling out there. Might have been tarpon. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day.